Broadcasting live from Hypercube Labs, Subbasement 27, where we are going to delve deep into the internet. Here is your host, Dr. Fox.
Yeah, hooray, it's me, your favorite pal. Welcome! It's time for the show, your weekly Subgenius radio ministry, Hypercube Laboratory's industrial comedy distillation update. I am Dr. Fox. Did I already say that? You said that. Did I introduce myself twice? Should I do it? Go for three? I'm Dr. Fox.
Go for three.
Hi, I'm Dr. Fox, and you can join in on all the fun in the live chat at timefortheshow.com. Click the Discord button. We are broadcasting live on freethinkradio.com. Woo, woo! Where you can play all of our copyrighted stuff and not get in trouble for it. But we're also broadcasting on youtube.com/HypercubeGo, home base of operations for Hypercube Labs. Now, normally, joining us via Satcom inter sub-ether uplink,
yes,
we would have Pease, but Pease, as he's quit the show.
Again,
you know, you guys need to be nicer to Pease. He's delicate. He is he is in just a state of shock and awe.
Well,
I can't believe that some of you could say the things that you could say and do the things you do, the pictures, the blackmail,
the maymays,
the blatant racism. Like, I'm disgusted by Pease already, you know, but you guys are pushing it pretty far. So let's take it on to my favorite part of the show. We'll go with that one. You set up the numbers.
Yeah.
And that's Cube News. And where we at with Cube News? Catching up on all that greasy post-X Day noise. We've gone through some of the footage, so now it's time to edit together something. So I'm looking at editing together the X Day footage as soon as possible. That'll be the next slab of work on my list. And then after that, it's pretty much Subgenius of the Week. Yeah, that's my favorite part of the show, Subgenius of the Week. Now, we were gonna feature this bit a couple weeks ago when we had footage of the kid riding the conveyor belt through the airport, and that was phenomenal. And I wanted to touch on that. I thought there was a lot of content there, but tonight we're gonna stick to a topic for. We're going to stick to one subject for a while.
Two recent circumstances, I would say breaking news from the internet. I got to say, I'm not much familiar, but I think Dr. Fox could explain it way better than I could. Do you wanna take it for here?
I'll try a little bit. You know, we've got so if you're on that social media, you goofball, you probably saw that everyone's favorite transgender demigod interdimensional portal master, who isn't me, got in trouble this week, and that would be everyone's favorite Chris Chan. And we've talked very briefly about Chris Chan before on the show as a case study of people on the internet that what the internet is doing to people, because we're gonna have to blame the internet on this one for shame on you, internet.
Yeah,
this is your fault that this happened. I'm disappointed in you. You did this.
If they never documented it, we wouldn't even be having this show.
Now, we wouldn't have, now that is very, very true. So Flux Rutenberg came to me earlier today, and I hadn't brought it up because I didn't know where anybody had gone. But he was like, so how about that Chris Chan stuff? And he knew about it. It was brought up to him by somebody that we agreed is like the last person to ever share a meme or something like that. Somebody that's totally out of the loop. And had caught on to this. So it's Rutenberg didn't know that much about.
Yeah, I skimmed the surface But I gotta say, out of after the first 2 episodes documenting his life that were both an hour and a half, I felt I couldn't dedicate my time.
And really, no one else should. And so we're not gonna dive into Christery too much.
Oh,
I'll bring some things up here and there, but there's plenty of other people that you can get the backstory on Chris, and I highly recommend Gino Samuel and Geeby. I don't know if it's GB or Geeby. He says it in all of his videos. I can never retain that. But Hypercube Lab's got a couple little Patreon shout outs from him. I was supporting him for a few months. So he's
he knows who you are.
Well, yeah. So we're actually gonna lift something from one of his videos because he actually has transcribed them. So if you're not familiar with Chris Chan, in a nutshell, Christian Weston Chandler, as a young boy, was a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. He got featured on the news for winning a video game contest or something like that. I forget what he did. And he's had an eye for the spotlight ever since. He absolutely loves it. Definitely a driving force for me to do the show every week, because if Chris Chan can still pump out the stuff that he's been doing these days, even half-assed and intermittently, I can. So it's good. It's a good motivator for me, and I don't, I didn't really harbor any resentment towards the guy for getting famous for being an internet goofball.
Yeah.
So as the years go by, and we have it here. If you want to bring up on over on the screen, we have the original post from, I believe it was 2007 on Something Awful. Here we go. Yeah, over to the left. Right here. There we go. Yeah, if you want to bring that up on on the full screen there.
Yeah.
And I'm on the other side of the room. I can't read this, but it basically sums up the first public mention of who we would know to be Chris Chan, that would solicit for a boyfriend-free girl and would give out hand-drawn business cards to women that he found interesting, and has always resented men, especially men that could get girlfriends. Christian was also the creator. That was original name was Christopher. He wanted to change his name to Christian, so got a legal name change to Christian Weston Chandler because he wanted his name to reflect his morals and his values. Now, Chris went on to create the world's greatest original character concept, which is Sonichu, which is a hybridization of a Sonic Hedgehog and a Pikachu from Pokemon. And they've been merged together, and quite literally in the story, like there's a rainbow hits a Pikachu and it explodes in this fantastic fireball of autistic prowess, and it's and Sonichu is born, and Chris inserts himself into his stories like we all have, and writes his own narrative, which is basically a big fan fiction about life in this other world that he has created, known as Quickville. That's Christian Weston Chandler, CWC, which he's like, quick, so it's even in my name. He loves Sonic. I can't do a Chris Chan voice. I can do the hesitated sigh, but that would bring down my mood right now.
Now, I think it's important to note the timing of all of this. If you look closely at the
copyright date,
the copyright
on the Tripod website
is March 17th, 2000.
So 7 years go by. So Sonichu is created, and in around 2000, we get first break of it around 2007, and eventually people start finding. So there's all of these comics that he's made, and also he's been publishing them to the internet, putting pictures of the pages that he draws of the comic, and we're not going to show any of the comic.
No.
There's just not enough time for that. That one picture is enough. That is the entire series.
Yeah.
And Chris tells these bizarre stories that primarily revolve around him seeking out a girl and Sonichu living, his ultimate fantasy life, which is, he's super powerful and he's all-knowing and everybody loves him, and he's got his gal pal Rose Chew, and I use gal pal intently. So Chris starts getting noticed around the internet between 2007 and 2010, and this is when the trolling really starts kicking in. Now, if you're familiar, like if you remember the kid, like, "Hello, my future girlfriend, this is what I sound like." That was a perfect era for just young kids just doing the cringiest, goofiest things. But they're kids on the internet. I know I created plenty of horrible websites of my fan fictions.
It's
just way more terrible choices for cartoon characters.
Yeah, just absolutely like, it's when you first start making content and you don't really know exactly what you want to do, and this is the first time you've done it, so you're not really skilled. Because I've been there, I've made some terrible, like, stop motion, like, animation.
But at this point, when he's created this, because Chris is like 40 now.
Yeah.
So this is an adult creating fan fiction. This is a 21-year-old person doing these drawings and writing the stories and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
and I think
now I don't know if we've mentioned it, but Chris is on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So he declares himself to be a high functioning autistic, and I mean he at this point. This is Christian Weston Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
And years go on, and he starts getting interactions with other people on the internet that basically leads to people fucking with him all the time, and badly. I mean, and there are people malicious is and so there's people that that were blackmailing him, and there were people stalking him. And they got him to do horrible things. He mutilated himself. It's bad. It's rough.
Bad.
And a lot of it's recorded and out on the internet.
But here's the thing too, is like you really want to feel bad for this guy. You really do. But he puts it all on himself at this point of time.
So he's telling everybody he wants a girlfriend. A boyfriend-free girl is what he is seeking. And to mention, like, so he takes a sign with him to the mall, and it basically says, like, "No fat chicks and no darkies," at the bottom. And men keep walking. And so, and he's got these ridiculous standards. So eventually, there are people that there's people either pretending to be girls or girls that are interacting with Chris, and they talk on the phone. And he's convinced that he's found a sweetheart and that he's finally gonna get laid. He writes a song that he's just a virgin with rage, and
that's
a parody
plan. Right
he's
there.
So he's an adult autistic self-publishing author that can't get laid, and he meets with he's got these ridiculous beauty standards, and he needs somebody that is completely his dream. He wants a waifu, he wants a real world waifu, and he can't get one. And these girls that go and meet up with, like, they tell him, is like, well, you were doing this and you were saying that. And so even when people are fucking with him, and there are times where people have fucked with him, and this is, in my opinion, this is not the best wording, but try to help him out and try to help him see how things are going. But he worked one job at a Wendy's, got fired for that, for scaring a kid, and that was like his last job. That was it. So he's been at home on disability with his parents for years. Now his parents have several issues. There's his dad, Robert Chandler, Robert Chew now, which we'll get into a little bit. And then there is Barbara, his mother. So Chris has been creating a hellhole for them to live in, and he's just a disaster. And on top of that, his parents are hoarding. So it's an unfit living condition, really, for the three of them, and they get stressed out. And
you have all these people from the internet prank phoning
all the time, and so here it comes. So that's where I came in. So at one point, Chris goes online and says that he wants to make a Sonichu game. So I made a website with a friend, and we pretended to be a game development studio. And we were reaching out to Chris. We were trying to talk to him, and we didn't really have a plan, but we wanted to see if we could get through.
Yeah.
His parents were screening his calls, and his mother wouldn't let us through. Like she's like, who are you with? Name 3 things that you've made. Blah blah blah, and like filtering through. So if there was someone interested, she was gonna at least try to pass it on.
Yeah.
But after that. I didn't hear anything else. So I either called back or they called me back. I got called back by them at least once, and I think it was his mom telling me to fuck off. But I did talk to his dad, and I talked to his dad for about 20 minutes on the phone. And, my heart just broke, and I felt bad about ever wanting to fuck with. Like, I never wanted to hurt the guy. But we wouldn't mind, like, trying to get a couple chuckles out. Like, we figured something out. And if anything, we knew how to work in Flash. Maybe we could have made a fucking game for him. But that's facetious. Let's not even try to justify what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But let's just say I learned my lesson. I talked to his dad. And his dad was at the end of his fucking rope. He was just I am tired. We have done everything. I was like, well, why haven't you just unplugged the internet? Why don't you just get rid? That's what it is. And they're like, he goes into tantrums and rages. It's the only thing that will quell him, even though it's making. So they're enabling him.
Yeah.
But if their adult autistic son, man-child, that they're taking care of, and they're already in a decrepit position. And Bob told me about people putting dog shit in their mailboxes and throwing stuff at their doors and crap like that. He said they get this stuff all the time. And he was just tired of it, and I felt bad, and that was the lad. So I wasn't going to interact anymore. So this is the kind of stuff that's going on and on and on. Eventually, Bob's getting, Bob's about ready to die, and Chris announces that he is a tom girl, like a tomboy who is a girl that likes to sport a boyish look. A tom girl is a boy who likes to sport a female look, and created this kind of, in my opinion, a new kind of movement in cross-dressing, and was cross-dressing at that point.
He really had the pulse of the cross-dressing community on his fingers at that moment in time.
And time goes on, and up to this point, that's a shocking moment, because at that point, Chris's comics, the Sonichu comics, usually defame homosexuals and what we'll just label as your typical deviant. That was the crux of the comics. Is like, he hated that straight men could get laid, but he couldn't stand that, like, maybe the thought of 2 women getting together when there was a perfectly good man to get in there. So he's just spurging out. And eventually goes through this transformation, this change period, this chrysalis period that I'll refer to, and begins transitioning to a woman, and believes that they are a female spirit in a male body. And this is when they start getting into mysticism and stuff like that. Now I'm going to they, and there's a lot of weird stuff coming in from the interactions in their life. They're still getting trolled. There's still fake girlfriends. There's still prank phone calls.
Oh yeah,
it keeps coming.
Yeah.
And now, he is opening himself up to so much more subjugation, and really the worst of any trolling, by announcing that that he's transgender and he is a she, and is changing his name to Christine Weston Chandler, and is continuing with this. This happens years ago, and it further develops. And Christine is still on her love quest to find a boyfriend-free girl, but at this point, just any free fucking girl. In their 20s. there was I think somebody paid for a prostitute so he could get laid, and that's so not a virgin.
Well,
but,
I mean, good for him.
But now she's still continuing this thing, and and that's where it gets in. And we've talked about this on the show before, and this was when we had Dr. Purge on, and we brought it up, and there's an entirely different concept of how to handle this on the internet, which is what we can come back to.
Yeah.
So I see that you're lining stuff up there.
Yeah.
So this week, so Bob is dead. Christine is a female spirit in a male body who has now, at one point, self-harmed to attempt to open the psychic vagina in their gooch.
Yeah. If you have to ask what the gooch is,
it's
you already know what
so
you know. If not, quick Google search. You'll know. Sometimes commonly referred to as the taint.
But that ain't no thing to get into right now. There's more.
Yeah, there's way more.
So I've kept up with him with her throughout the years, and really enjoyed like the documentary series coming out and people still chronicling what's going on, and just an interesting person and a fascinating case study in what the internet is doing, and I use that with air asterisks, because it's not the internet, but it's the internet. This week, news comes out that and here's the timeline. A month ago, Christine tells the operator of a site that mainly harbors where the trolls and the Christorians merge and document Chris Chan lore, history, and current goings on. The stalker website, the lolcal stalker website, which I'm not gonna mention on here for their sake, for my sake. But the operator of the site, the admin, gets confirmation from Chris that he's dating someone, an older woman. And apparently there are girls that Christine is talking to, like as friends. And a phone call leaks about a month later, and it's Christine admitting to having sex with Barbara, her mother. And that was the breaking story this week. So it's that has blown up on the internet.
And it's gone much farther than the internet as well. If we just do this quick little bam right here,
which is on the internet,
is on the internet,
but now we've got Chris Chan. This is the second article on Chris Chan on Newsweek. There's two right now. And Yahoo News is covering it, and it's getting around. So there's a lot of people that have heard about Chris and don't care anything. And it's understandable. Not that interesting for a lot of people, but it's an interesting case on where it's going. And
it's just insane.
We do have the. Can we play GB's clip of the arrest? So we have the arrest earlier. So. When this video was taken, it was unsure what Christine was being arrested for. After people were told that he was having sex with his mother, they informed the police. And a wellness check was made, and his mother was taken to a hospital, where she still is. Christine was banned from the house for like 9 days and had to go find a hotel. And then it was reported that Chris took money from his mother's bank account without her knowing or her permission. He has access to her bank accounts and moved that money, and took $750. Over $380 of which he used to pay for the hotel. She used to pay for the hotel. And This is hard, you know. This is hard. This is live. She pays for the hotel, and then has like $150. Like the bank account was overdrawn $250. Takes $750 out. Spends $375, $380 on a hotel room. Then goes to the mall at 11 a.m. to buy snack foods and toys. And there was a protective custody order against him speaking or interacting with his mother. So he was confronted about that by the operator from the other website who has access to his email. Somebody that has, in my opinion, is looking out for Chris as long as Chris wants to maintain being a internet celebrity. Is somebody almost mitigating, you know, the trolls and the weens, people trying to wean off of Chris's success, which is a weird word to put it. And notoriety, which, you know, at this point I probably am because we're talking about it, but we're at least trying. We've done the catch up and we've done that. So when this video was taken, it was unclear whether he was they were being charged with an incest crime, elder abuse, rape, or stealing money. But we can go ahead and we can play that. This is on GB's channel, GIBI. And this one has the subtitles, so we can play that.
Is the car alive? Is the car alive?
Yeah, you appear to be compliant.
Your goddess blue heart, and I continue to stand strong, and I maintain everything with quick fill in my side shoes and those shoes and everybody.
Yeah, you're live to about 3,000 people right now, Christian. Well, don't. You're taking everything in stride.
How do you plead?
Yeah, I keep in good faith. Everything is going to work out.
Doing good, feeling good? How's the last few days been? I know it's been pretty stressful.
It's stressful, but I've taken it one moment at a time, and I got my loves.
Well, that's good.
Josh Moon, did you dirty?
Oh, well, that's just the one thing. That's a kid. Feel free. Just go ahead and take it. I just a picture of Muffins, my little pony.
Love Quest is over, Chris.
I promise I was not thinking that. It fell off my back. I did not want to lose it. Please don't like that. I have nothing else on. I have no weed. I have no drugs on.
Now in this scene coming up, they're gonna frisk. Yeah, the police officer pats Chris's breast and
All right.
It's happening now.
Chris
The merge
says that feels
it's
good
happening
and
right
laughs
now,
about it.
isn't
And the cops are like chuckling to each other. It's hard to say whether they know what they're dealing with right now. But
Well, there goes Chris Chan into the Henrico County.
all right, so we can stop it there. And then over on the far right, I believe we have the tab which has the mug shot. Which does it say Christine Weston Chandler?
Yeah, it says Christine and it gender female.
Gender female.
Yeah.
So she was booked, and eventually an update came in that she was charged with incest against a child or grandparent.
Yeah.
So there's speculation on that. Is there just not something in the drop down form for incest with a parent or something like that?
Well, what's crazy about that?
It's because his mother could very well be his legal guardian or caretaker.
Yeah.
Because you know, Christine is not is on disability, if I recall, is on disability. And is booked. But then we have an update on the later mug shot and update. Oh, actually no, it's the Facebook post.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if you wanna just get down to the meat and bones of what that says on there.
All right, here it goes. It's on July 31st, 2021, the Greene County Sheriff's Office received information regarding sex crimes against a family member who resides in Ruckersville area. Both the victim and the suspect reside in Greene County, but based on the investigation, an arrest warrant was issued. And then they arrest her with the charge with violating Code 18.2-66, incest.
All right. So, but we've noticed something in that, and that's a press release from the sheriff's department.
Yes.
And how did they gender Chris in that one? As a male, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they still say the name Christine.
Still say Christine, but they do identify them as a he.
Yeah. They say he. And I think it's important to note 2,000 comments. And versus the last post they posted before that,
with a guy for what, kidnapping and
kidnapping,
arm stocking,
threatening people, brandishing firearms. Like, this guy's.
And how many likes on that post?
400.
And on the Chris Chan post?
4,000.
4,000. So there's so this is it's getting
it's blowing
up. It's blowing up, and
it's
a lot of
insane.
people. So here we have the interesting part of the conversation. Now, in the Geno Samuel documentaries, when Chris transitions, for all intents and purposes, he refers to Christine and female pronouns. However, there are other people that don't use the female pronouns because they look at it as just attention-seeking behavior, and that Chris is not transsexual. It might be a cross-dresser, but it does not have any kind of body
that they're making it
body I don't know the correct terms. I'm not that kind of doctor. But dysphoria, dysmorphia, I'm not on that. Yeah. And from that, there was there's a different sentiment out on the internet. Mm-hmm. And it primarily seems to be from youngsters, and primarily on the lefty kids. And it was, there is a nature of building each other up. There is an inclusivity to it, but it's not just there's good elements and then there's bad elements, and there are kids, young human beings that talk about these things on the internet, and we've talked before about echo chambers. Like Facebook and Twitter, and it's kids that could very well have mental health issues that are being affected by other people on the internet. Now, if you go on Forkland and ask for help, you shouldn't expect any good help. Like, hey B, why shouldn't I kill myself tonight? I don't think you're going to get any positive responses that are going to help you in not wanting to kill yourself. Asking, is kind of like rule one of Time for the Show. Don't rely on the audience, They're because if they're going to give you feedback, they're going to give you honest feedback. And it's usually going to be harsh and mean, and sometimes it's not honest. Sometimes it's just harsh and mean. Yeah. So you don't have to go too far. So going on the internet and looking for advice, which is something I've done, and ends up, I'm sure there is a video that somebody saved somewhere of me just crying, and I was crying because I was trying to talk about something, and it was something that was pretty basic, but you couldn't get anybody to agree with you, which is okay, that's frustrating. But people intentionally not agreeing with you because they enjoy trying to stimulate a different kind of response out of the subject. In that instance, me. And so I totally lolcowed myself, and I embarrassed myself, but I felt bad. And as somebody that occasionally reads the comments and the chats, I don't read them all the time, because if I did, I'd probably stop doing the fucking show. It's woo!
Yeah, man.
That's the secret, kid. Don't read the comments. Only accept what people say to you graciously. and with praise. It's I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It's a weird talk, and I'm doing a lot of the banter tonight.
Well, see, here's the thing: is there's these people out there.
These people
out there that are attacking him, but attacking her, and then so you get poised with the question of, should I be pro Chris Chan? Should I be anti Chris Chan?
How are you supposed to feel about this? Now, you had like a taste in your mouth from a minimal exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And so now something's presented. So so how are you supposed to feel about it? Because presented with everything, people have been fucking with him for years.
But he doesn't stop.
He doesn't fucking stop. He doesn't learn. He doesn't learn from any of it. And people tell him, dude,
stop doing
there's people
this.
fucking with you. Like, apparently he's got actual friends, people that do care about him and look out for him and want to make sure he's safe and try to encourage him to do the right thing in his life. And the repeated story over and over again is like, he won't, he just won't, he won't. And
it blows my mind.
It's bizarre. It's so bizarre
that people have dedicated their time. Like, even us. Like, it's just such an enigma that you just want to. You don't even know how to comprehend it.
Well, and that's what makes it an interesting study. It's like, well, how much of this does Chris really believe, even about himself? And even as presented, did he really have sex with his mother, or is that all just in his head? Because he's psychically married in a polyamorous relationship to one of his OCs and a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I think someone else. I think and Sonichu, I believe at one point Chris's spirit left this plane and went on a trans-dimensional journey, and Sonichu actually came into Chris Chan's body. And there's Twitter threads of when that was happening, and people were like, "Oh, it's my chance to talk to Sonichu." And it's like, yeah, it was.
Doesn't Chris Chan have like 3 wedding rings that he wears on a chain on his belt?
I think on an armband or something, but like 3 big Sonic rings, something like that.
Yeah, they're like big, heavy colored cock rings.
Yeah, they do look a lot like cock rings.
Oh no.
And
so yeah, you wonder if this person is
and believes that there is so this is where I started getting bothered, because Chris Chan starts bringing up dimensional merges and has gotten big on that. And I don't know if if you're new to Hypercube, that's what we research around the clock over here. And Chris Chan has been claiming that there is a dimensional merge coming where we are going to collide with the dimension that actually contains all of our own original characters and fan fictions and stuff like that. So like Bugs Bunny, it's like Toontown and Roger Rabbit, and we're going to collide with that. We're all going to live together, even like our dead relatives and stuff. So it's like Jehovah's Witnesses goes to Disney World, That's what Chris is saying is going to be happening. I've been saying it for like a few years now, and the merge keeps getting delayed. But if you heard when Chris is getting arrested, like the merge is on and it's happening. So this is definitely the catalyst for everything to happen. And so you've got people out there that are telling Chris, "Yeah, I believe you. The merge is happening. This is going to happen." And you've got a different group. There's different people saying all of this. There's people that are just egging him on and fucking with him.
Yeah.
There's people that are just maybe just being supportive or just making a silly joke. We'll just say neutral. And then we have other people that also believe what he's saying. And there's a whole saga on that. If you want to get into the Jacob Sockness stuff, that's the dark wizard that wants to rape Chris.
Oh Jesus!
There's people. That's what he's gotten from doing this.
There is just a myriad amount of documents and layers on this person, and it's chronicled in such a way where you know literally everything about this person because they put it on the internet,
and
they put
puts their trust in anybody.
Yeah.
Well, anybody with a vagina or sounds like they have a vagina.
Ooh. That poor.
So he's just thirsty as hell, and people fish and troll him and keep doing, and he keeps falling for it. Like, you would think, like, by the third time your internet girlfriend that you never met ends up stabbing you in the back, well, isn't that just enough? Is 20 not enough? Because I don't know how many internet gal pals Chris has had at this point, but it's a lot.
Like, I'd say more than 6.
So there's that, and then there's how delusional is Chris? Now earlier, Flux and I watched a video from Last Terminal Network that read out Chris's account of when he hit somebody with his car.
Yeah, a repeat offender.
And when he resisted arrest and gets taken to jail, and while he's in a holding cell, like, takes off his clothes and starts singing, and so there's no telling what he's doing in prison now. And that's why I've settled with he for Chris a while back ago, because I do not believe that he is in that category with other people. I believe that there are people that totally match that diagnosis. Some of them self-diagnosed, some of them clinically, whichever. Those people exist. Their rights exist. That's fine to be who you are. But it's another thing to pretend to be somebody in efforts to lure them towards you. Yeah. And he exploited. It's very understandable that the LGBT community is supportive and inclusive. And by entering into that, Chris probably got more, we'll say, positive, air quotes, attention than ever before. Yeah. Got support from it and got to hang out with women.
Yeah.
And and attempts to socialize and things like that. So it was definitely a positive force. Now there's evidence that's been presented that he really does feel this way. He is a she and things like that. But there's that air, and then there's that same kind of mentality with young people on the internet right now, and that is primarily there's been a big argument of people not using Chris's preferred pronouns. That's going back. So anybody that hasn't even heard of them are weighing in on that.
Yeah. Which I think,
and it's starting, and I'm starting to see posts coming out. I wish I had that one up on Still Store, but it was somebody saying, if they're legitimately like this, they deserve our empathy. But if they're pretending, that makes them scum.
And I think that's...
And it's people recognizing that, there's a big draw to something like pride.
Yeah.
It's, being proud of who you are. And a lot of young white boys have found that it's very easy to get attention, and I immediately jump into a minority status by putting on a dress and sucking a dick. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, you want to do that. But it doesn't mean that everyone else has to be sympathetic towards you. That's the price of freedom. Other people are allowed to feel the way that they feel. And Chris is manipulating that, and there are a bunch of people online that I know for sure fed into this, and it's a form of gaslighting, in my opinion, but I don't know what to call it. Because you're feeding into these delusions, but these people themselves, they're either delusional themselves, but they're far from any kind of medical expert. It's a kid on the internet, and they talk about sharing their headspace with different characters from Harry Potter, and having schizophrenic bouts where one of their alternate personalities just happens to be a wizard. People that identify as plants. I think it's more of a situation where, like, these people, the who are delusional should get the help that they deserve. And I think that's fair enough. There's people that need help that can't afford it or can't get it.
Because, like, in Chris Chan's case, there was nobody there really to truly get him, like, the professional help.
Just an elderly person.
Exactly.
A single elderly person.
Exactly. So it makes it even more of, like, this ambiguous gray
Chris claims to have cured his autism by listening to binaural beats. And that's something still practicing to this day, is, playing these hypno videos and transforming himself into whatever he wants to be. Because he also believes he's a god with the ability to transport and astral project, and is in psychic relationships with fictional characters. Now, and there are people online telling him, you're absolutely right. We could see that Chris is in the brony culture, got into that super heavy, and started implementing it. Eventually Sonichu becomes a brony or a pony or whatever. And so that plays in. And we talked about those guys earlier today. These were adult men who
sexually
repressed grown men attracted to cartoons of horses.
Yeah, made for children.
And admit it, not everybody that likes the cartoon that happens to be a grown man is a disgusting pervert.
No.
There's obviously something wrong with you, but it's
just the
fact. But you're not dressing up like a pony and going to conventions and these things. Conventions, especially stuff that's based on kid things.
It's insane, the culture behind it.
The amount of Rule 34 on My Little Pony that I've seen unwillingly. The sheer wave of it is just it's insane. And so there, Chris
watch out!
Lives,
I'm clopping.
Chris identifies a lot with these incels, these involuntary celibates, because God knows they're trying, and has worked his way into those groups for years, and was going to brony cons and stuff like that. Now there was a GoFundMe to get him out to one, I think in Washington State, to fly him out and cover some expenses to keep him safe. And that has been refunded. And I believe even the convention has rescinded any invitation to him.
Oh, wow.
Saying you can't. I don't know if that's true. But it's people saying, we don't want you here. And this is just a pattern history with Chris. Chris has been banned from GameStops. We had that video earlier. Chris macing a GameStop employee, was charged with dispersing a chemical agent.
And see, that's where you come up with the counter argument.
Hit somebody with his car. Actually, his mom did.
This person is dangerous. They're dangerous.
And so there's stories of self-harm. And a lot of this is self-harm. The videos that he made, that he's constantly falling for these gags and these catfishing schemes.
Yeah, self-degradation.
So it comes down like how bad should you feel about that? And it comes to, he has blamed his autism for years.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I'm autistic. A genuine defense from him.
Okay.
For years for not getting anything done. At some point, somebody was paying him money to make the pages for his comic book. And they're like, well, this is what you wanted, right? You want to get paid to make Sonichu?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got the money. People want the product. And he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. So that's the kind of stuff that runs through my head.
Yeah.
Like when I had to go to the t-shirt shop
Oh yeah,
last night.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
so like I mentioned earlier, it's a motivator for me.
Yeah.
I am not the world's greatest creator. I'm barely a creator. But, you know, I at least try to do the show every week and keep up with the Pack Slack orders and stuff like that. Packslack.com,
Yeah.
by the way. Visit now.
Yeah, buy a shirt.
Buy a fucking shirt. It's wacky. It's zany. So how bad are we supposed to feel for him? Because it's his mother we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
this
we
is-
watched a video earlier of her walking into a live stream. He's on Twitch. And how many viewers do you have? 300 or 400 people on Twitch?
Yeah, quite a bit.
And, he puts the camera on her.
It sounded like it was scripted.
She
It
sounded robotic
Yeah.
because she looks like somebody with dementia.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell
Yeah.
what's there, and you could tell, he was feeding her, what to say, leading her with these questions and stuff. So he says, a month or so ago that he's been having sex with an older woman like 3 times a week. And it comes out to be his mother. And in these text messages that go in explicit detail, he goes the whole mile, the whole 9 yards, a mile and a half, marathon dogging it.
Man, that's wait, where's the? Yeah, that's a big no. Yeah,
with the
no.
Yeah.
Here, I got it. Don't worry. This is like this is how it's done. Yeah. This is live.
Yeah, play
radio.
the sound effect 12 seconds later.
Yeah, all right.
Can we skip it for now?
Yeah. That's
So
fine, that's fine.
so they're very easy to believe that because he's manipulative, he's two-faced, and he's crazy. So did he
even do it? That's
did he do it?
Yeah.
Did he do it? Did he coerce his mom? He said he let her make the first move, which I would imagine would be away.
Yeah.
Did he coerce his mother into an incestuous relationship? And who's going to get charged with what? So, he's been charged with incest. Now, according to the sheriff's department, he has been charged with incest.
Yeah.
And
then the question of his mother still being his caretaker.
So is she going to get charged?
Yeah,
Exactly. What's going to happen to her?
What's the deal there?
So it's either she consented, which makes her a guilty party, or he raped her.
Yeah, there's no good outcome to this one. We're entering prison saga, the Chris Chandler story.
Yeah, just for an entirely new arc.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for another 20 years.
So
of his life.
my question is, which jail is he in? Because we know he's been transferred. He was transferred like the maximum station, the maximum security station that happens to be the sheriff's office and the jail for pre and post trial inmates, and has been moved to another jail.
Yeah, because this mugshot right here says the sheriff's office.
So that's the first one.
Yeah.
That's still listed Christine as a female, right?
Yeah.
And the second one does as well.
Uh-huh.
But that's the one with, I don't know if we had the second one up, but that's the one that has the charge listed on it. So there's 2 arrest records, and then there is a press release.
Where is that?
So what is going through now? Can you imagine what the hell was going through the minds of those police officers?
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
there are cops at that station who know who they are. They have to be on a 911 watch list. They probably call 911 all the time. Probably reasonably.
Yeah.
From having crazy people harass them.
Yeah.
Bob told me they were putting shit in his mailbox.
Yeah, like
and
throwing
eggs
house.
at the door and stuff like that.
God, the internet's a scary
And so
place.
they get it. I'm sure their neighbors get it. But when Chris was locked out of the house, he was supposed to stay with like relatives, and they're not. And speaking of relatives, that's another bit we got going. We were talking about earlier today because Chris actually has a semi-famous, semi-professional, e-celebrity half brother.
Yeah, a movie reviewer,
right? Cole Smithy.
Cole Smithy.
So that's got to be like what's going through now. Chris, if you're not familiar with Cole Smithy, first off, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But self-proclaimed world's smartest movie critic Cole Smithy is Chris Chan's half brother. Barbara is their mother, and she had multiple husbands. So first off, the fact that
your brother
Cole allegedly makes money.
Yeah.
And he is still blogging on movies and things like that.
Yeah.
But could you imagine like that being you just go out to you go to Cannes, you watch a movie, you write a review that could make or break a movie.
You put your all into this.
And every time you go to the bar, you're like, hey man, I really appreciate what you said about that film. It was I agree that was a little facetious here and there, but the lighting was good. Hey, what's up with your fucking brother, dude? Because everybody that knows him, I imagine his friends don't ask him about it.
Yeah.
But I imagine this week his friends are fucking asking about him. And that man had to sit at home tonight. Think in the home that he pays for, putting his all in to do the job he wants to do, right? And he wants to do it as best as he can, as much as he can. And his brother, the internet retard, the world's most famous internet retard, fucked his mother. His mother.
Oh man,
he's gotta sit down and twirl the spaghetti on his fork tonight.
At that point, you just dip out and you change your identity.
How do you even conceive that? Because first off, there's people that have to deal with that any day, right?
Yeah.
You find out that someone in your family has done something terrible. That happens every day. But then you find out that not only has somebody done this to you, but now it's going to be national fucking headlines. And there's rumors going about, and of course, it completely unfounded, but about like how are they going to process, any kind of rape or incest charge, and could this lead to a Supreme Court case? And it's
there was that talk.
There's no public defender that's going to be able to get Chris Chan an appeal.
No. They can't afford a lawyer.
Those cops. So there were 7 people outside the hotel Chris was at this morning. 7 people is a lot. When it comes out to finding out that something crazy is going on within 100 miles of where you live.
Yeah.
And to make or break it in like 12 hours or less to get there and be there, 7 to 10 people is a lot of people.
It's a pretty good influence.
And they're recording.
Yeah.
And those cops did not have body cameras on. So that's the only footage of that we're going to get.
Yeah.
But, they're smiling and laughing at each other like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, how do we approach this person?
And so first off, they're arresting Chris. Who was wearing, can we bring that back up on Gibby's video? Can we get like a still?
Yeah,
just back up a little bit there. See if we can get like,
there we go.
So Chris is in a Sonichu Rose Chew fan art shirt.
Yeah, look at that.
Has a bag of magic stuff on him. So these guys are, they're dealing with Chris, and all they know is that they're there to make this arrest at the minimum. So do these officers know who they're dealing with? And eventually they do start chuckling about it when he laughs about, getting his breast frisked.
Yeah.
And that's cool. They giggle about it, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" And so somebody's gonna get back to their desk. Somebody got back to their desk today, and they are gonna go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, they're gonna delve deep.
They've got their hard file that they need to fill out. They got to go by the books. They're gonna go step off and get a cup of coffee, and they are gonna Google this motherfucker, literally. And they are going to find all this shit. Everything I just summed up to you in the first 2 hours of the show. Like, the Geno Samuel documentary is on part 58.
Yeah.
Typical episodes are an hour long.
Yeah.
And he's up to 2017.
Yeah, he's not even at the full
He's not even at the
story.
present day. And he's been working on it for years now.
Oh my god.
You know, it's a saga.
Insane.
And
how much
so they're
information
immediately
is
they're
on
immediately
this
going to see
person.
that Chris has a criminal record, right? From
Yeah.
attempted vehicular manslaughter and
Yeah.
dispersing a chemical agent and any 911 call they've ever fucking made,
He's a
which has to
recidivist.
be in the hundreds to the thousands.
Easy.
And then someone's gonna go. He's gonna walk over to the guy filling out the form and say, "Stop writing. You need to see what we're fucking dealing with," because they had no idea this morning when they went to go pick him up that they were going to make national fucking news, international news.
Yeah, it's a big story.
People know about Chris Chan all over the world, and so I can only imagine the phone calls the sheriff's department got. I know the hotel or the motel, Holiday Inn, where Chris Chan was staying at, was getting bombarded with phone calls, and I felt bad for those people. They're working night shift at a motel in Virginia.
Yeah, they're just getting by.
The last thing that they want to get is a fucking phone call, and the last thing they really want to get is the 100th phone call. So we know that the police were there. Up to that point, but a warrant was arrested for incest, and the police presumably have the data, and depending on how much anybody else said, they're like, if you look into them, this is what you're gonna find.
I'm just waiting for
the case, man. I cannot wait for the interrogation videos when fucking Jim Can't Swim covers this.
Yeah,
that's gonna be phenomenal. This will be the greatest interrogation video on the face of the planet. And I'd love to see what's going on in the jail right now. Did he take off his clothes and start screaming? Is he gonna try to make himself look to be insane? Which jail is he in?
Yeah.
Is he in the men's jail or the women's jail? They don't let them mix. They separate. You can argue about gender identity and politics all you want. Once you get arrested, there's a wall, and you're gonna go to one side or the other. And I imagine on the men's side, they'd fuck with him.
Yeah.
They'd fuck with him. They might kick his ass. But over on the woman's side,
he's dead.
They'd tear him apart.
Dead. Yeah.
They'd tear him apart. How could they not? When they find out what they're gonna do they have a TV in their day room? Are they gonna see the news tomorrow? They're all gonna look over and say, "You did what?" How do you think a room full of women are gonna handle someone with a penis raping their own mother, and now they're in a cell with him? He would probably be safer in the men's cell. Yeah. And more than likely is going to end up in solitary confinement.
Yeah, because he's such a
Because he's a hothead.
Yeah.
He's nuts.
Yeah.
He's hurt people before, and he's made threats before. And, so it comes back. How bad are we supposed to feel for Chris? It's like how much of this,
mind-boggling.
If the fucking internet company came and just axed their connection permanently, would this have ever happened? To be honest, I imagine probably.
See, I'm of the opinion that whoever posted originally who posted the website on the internet, aside from Chris Chan, let's forget him, but the original post that we just pulled up a little while ago, if they didn't post that, we wouldn't be here. So I'm of the opinion that they should have ignored Chris. We should have never uncovered this horrible mountain of bullshit, incestuous, nasty, terrible
But he keeps putting it out there. He loves the attention that he gets. There's the other video. It's a wild Chris Chan sighting. He can't help but tell anyone.
What, does he just go up and say, I'm Chris Chan?
Can you imagine the cop asking him about his t-shirt on the way in? Like, hey, so what's up with you, like Sonic the Hedgehog?
It's Sonic
Oh my God, I want that dashboard footage so bad. Chris has been manipulated, but Chris is also a manipulator. He's incredibly narcissistic. and lazy and apathetic, does not care about the feelings of others, is incredibly superficial, is incredibly selfish, incredibly jealous. He's jealous of other people, but has got to stay home on somebody's disability check or inheritance or whatever was left over when his dad died, and has never had to take in responsibility for it. Claims to take responsibility, but doesn't. And any time we're like, I'm sorry, it goes back to doing the same fucking thing over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So it's not just Chris Chan, it's other. There are other people doing this.
Well, yeah.
There are other people doing this, and they're I imagine a good bit of them are probably in the same boat where there's people fucking with them. And maybe not even intentionally. More of that with people giving their bad advice.
Yeah.
Just giving bad advice.
Yeah, general bad advice.
Asking Twitter about what to do about the voices in your head. Top result, buy him a cup of coffee, you know?
Oh, Christ, yeah. And see, this is why the internet is such a terrible place. Truly. I mean, you don't trust the internet. Don't trust the internet.
But Chris was putting this stuff out there.
He
as an adult, an adult was putting this stuff out there, and it's sad because he doesn't have any social skills. Doesn't have any.
No.
Doesn't have any. I applaud anybody that was willing to try to be friends with him. Even if it was just out of compassion for any human being and they decided it to be him. Yeah, that somebody was looking out for him is nice to know. But those people they've turned their backs on him.
Yeah.
Admittedly. He's done something terrible. He's done something absolutely terrible.
It's the everybody's anti-Chris Chan right now. And I think that's a good thing.
I don't know how many people are going to be anti.
Well,
that's what's going to be interesting. People that are going to start picking it up.
Yeah, there's going to be some sides. I'm just gonna love the day when this gets on Fox News and they start talking about.
This is exactly the kind of shit Fox News loves.
Oh yeah.
They are going to crucify him.
Oh yeah.
Autistic transgender rapes mother.
Yeah, dude.
So think of the damage that this is going to do to the community.
Oh yeah.
There are already people. There are trans, gay, bi. There are human beings who are for just being themselves. Mm-hmm. And minding their own fucking business that can't catch a break from their communities, from their families, from their employers. And we've seen, we could argue back and forth on how big was this anti-Asian racist wave over the past year and things like that. Yeah. And where that lies, but there's so much. Yeah. And these people are going to end up being defamed. Yep, look at what another one of those fucking trannies did. Went and raped his mother. We never saw any footage of that guy allegedly in the female spa the other week, right? So we had that incident out in California where allegedly someone with a beard and a penis was fully nude in the woman's locker room at a spa in California. There's no footage of that. There doesn't seem to be any record of that, but it was enough to get people to riot in the fucking streets.
Yeah, just a rumor.
In California, just a rumor. Yeah. Just an allegation. Got bigots and homophobes and then social justice warriors and Antifa all riled up to go out and fight. Is this going to be a repercussion of that? Is there going to be a riot somewhere over misgendering Chris Chan?
That would be the worst scenario.
Because that's where like there's support coming from. They're like, we don't you know, just because they've done something that you don't agree with doesn't mean, you know, you get to, you know, that's their decision and blah, blah, blah. You don't know anything about him. You don't know anything about him. And just because they claim to be a member of your community, in fact, if anything, you should be suspicious. You should be very, very suspicious of wolves in sheep's clothing. People that will dive into minority groups to exploit them. And that is exactly what Chris has done. That is exactly what he's done. He probably has no problem saying that he's a woman.
Yeah.
He's probably very comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't do anal. Won't do anal. That's off the table. There's a video of him prostituting himself out.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was like for $100 you can snuggle with me, something like that.
Wow.
We'd have to find it. I'm paraphrasing, but
no.
You know, I know of course he's made videos putting himself out there, but this is a video of him putting himself on the fucking market. You know, getting on the circuit. Because he's lonely.
Yeah, well...
He's lonely, but he chases everybody away. He's completely insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
He's an asshole. He's a gigantic fucking asshole.
Well, is he just so crazy he doesn't know the difference? Is that where he's at?
That's to be said. You know, there's gonna have to be a psychological evaluation. He's obviously he's been on medication before.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's been seen by doctors. Yeah, he's autistic.
Yeah.
He is autistic. He's suffering from a disability.
So it's like, and then my thing is like,
how much of this is his fault?
Yeah. Like how can you
arms in the air
the blame?
How
on
can you
him?
place the blame on him?
Will they try an insanity deal? You think they'll go for that?
Diminished capacity? It's hard to say, because Chris seems to be lucid.
Yeah.
Enough.
Well,
it's hard to say, because he's got ideas in his head that he does have mystical powers.
Yeah.
He's expressed that before. He was saying he was a goddess.
Well, he knows what's going on.
He curses people.
Yeah.
He casts curses on people. Whether you believe it or not, to do something like that is really evil.
It's pretty mean.
It's mean.
It's mean
to curse somebody.
You don't do that.
And he did it with malicious intent. He wanted people to be hurt, but he's too much of a coward to do it himself until he found an elderly woman
who
happened to be looking out for his best interest his entire fucking life.
Yeah. That is that's a big ol'...
Yeah, it's...
I mean, at this point, I don't even... I can't keep up.
It's hard to keep up with. It's a lot of people don't want to keep up with it, but it's going to create a bunch of different conversations in the next coming days.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. And it's interesting to see how this is going to fan out. You know, people respond to different crimes in different ways, and people respond to celebrity crimes in different ways. And this is very much going to be a celebrity crime.
Oh,
it already is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they had no idea what they were in for when they booked him today.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's gonna cover more shit. I don't know who's gonna.
Yeah.
Because there's not that much more to say. All I can say is I know what's going on, and I've got an opinion on it. And it makes me worry about other people doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. It makes me worry about more wolves in sheep's clothing that infiltrate any group in the hopes of exploiting them.
Now, see, my takeaway from all this would probably have to be the lack of professional help for people who are truly disabled, and the state to where they let that disability progress in such a way where they end up hurting themselves.
They do
and
have to take. They have to
else.
take initiative. You know, the mentally disabled have to take an initiative. That was covered in that really good Joker movie.
Yeah.
That they cover from the beginning. we don't have the resources to help you. That's how they open it with.
Yeah,
and throughout
exactly.
the film, it gets worse and worse. The office gets smaller. It gets darker. There's there's like when they start, she's got a diminished office that's overflowing with paperwork, right?
Yeah.
She's still taking and what does she meet with him near the end? Like an empty room.
Yeah,
because they're shutting it down. Because there's no money in helping people like that. When we want to give people help, we lock them in fucking jail.
Yeah.
That's supposed to. Yeah, it's a rehabilitation system.
Yeah.
At the same time, also a punishment system.
Well, it's definitely not a rehabilitation system. You're not rehabilitating anything by putting people.
There are resources there that people have done something with.
There is a chance
there are
to
people
get
that
out.
have gone and have earned their degrees while they're in there. They get psychological help. They get fed. That's the sad state that we're in. Is the fact that jails aren't just open. Like, why, out of every 10 jails, why not just open one and just let people fucking live in it?
Yeah.
Make them do the laundry, make them cook their own meals.
Instead of arresting them for not having a place to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible. That's terrible. And it's not great that people are... And what people living on the streets is a public health hazard. There's waste. There's safety issues. There's crime. People are at risk on the streets. It's not good to live on the streets.
No.
But we're not providing anything for these people. We're not providing for them. And going off the grid is just as hazardous. That's why you have to get an impact statement before you can even lay a fucking concrete slab.
Yeah, man.
You could end up irreversibly damaging the environment by dumping your raw shit in the creek.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Or doing stuff that people still do, where they dam up creeks and rivers and end up creating fishing holes and end up throwing off entire ecosystems.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to, get off the grid. So there's people that want off, and then there's people that want in. And it's a horrible exchange. It's a horrible fucking exchange. And that we pay taxes, and these are the people that are left out. Chris has needed help for years.
Yeah.
But it has been on him to get it. And it sounds like, I don't know, to be honest, I don't know what kind of professional help Chris has gotten throughout the years and what medications that he's been on.
But clearly something wasn't working.
It wasn't working. No. His parents had to take care of him.
I mean,
that's a lot for anybody. You've got to take care of your kid till the day you die.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so now Chris is up to the point where it's possible he may never see his mother again.
Probably not.
This could be enough to fucking kill her.
Yeah. Yeah, if she's in the hospital after everything that happened, just imagine,
What about when she has to give a deposition?
Yeah.
What is that going to be like? Are they going to arrest her?
Yeah, well, she's demented, so...
Are they going to come talk to her in the Your son is Chris Chan, and now there's somebody... That's all you know.
Yeah.
That your son is Chris Chan, and you barely can hold on to that thought, right?
Yeah, that's a heavy load.
And then somebody with a badge is in a hospital room with you asking what they did to you.
Yeah. And whether or not
so
is she
going to talk? Is she going to cover for him? Is she going to confess? Is she going to give how factual of a statement is she going to how coherent of a statement is she going to be able to give?
Exactly. Because in that video we were watching, 5 years ago, she seemed way off. She was super robotic, and you can tell that her mind was starting to go.
He's been using his mother for years as a crutch. Mm-hmm. Posting pictures of her, getting her to post videos saying, we need money. We need money to pay the bills. And he's feeding her everything. And she doesn't know where his money must come from other than whatever she gives him. Any pittance, any allowance, any access to some sort of health care, anything. I don't know what Bob had. I don't know if I think he was a veteran. So there might have been something there for a little while, but I mean, he's gone now. So I don't know what access they would even have.
No, they probably still have his benefits.
But if going to a therapist, if Chris goes to a therapist and they tell him that he's not grounded in reality, he's just gonna blow him off.
Yeah.
If he has to be grounded in reality, then he has to take responsibility for his actions and what he's doing.
And I think
he's got to get a job.
I think that's where the whole institutionalized, like
the safest place for him to be would probably. I don't know. That doesn't sound true either. That doesn't sound true either to put him in an institution, but because after this, if he thought the trolling was bad up to this point, the trolling was bad because he was easy to bait.
Yeah.
And that he would flip off the handle. It was super easy to agitate Chris. And on top of that, it wasn't hard to do. And he kept putting himself out there. Now he's done something. I mean, he's already done something.
Yeah.
He hit someone with his car. He maced somebody.
Yeah.
He's made threats.
He cut his gooch.
He seems like he could be a menace to the public. But at the same time, people are gonna want to hurt him. There's people that have wanted to hurt him for different reasons up until now. There's people that just don't like him.
Yeah.
There's people that want to hurt him because he says he's trans. So whichever the case is, just because Chris says that he's that's enough for people to want to beat him up for that.
Jeez.
For being a sissy faggot.
Yeah.
They want to beat him up for that. And that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong there's people that are jealous of him because he has got notoriety and fame through the Streisand effect. But it's twisted. It's really twisted.
Yeah, it is.
But now there's people that are going to want to hurt him because he's done something.
Yeah.
And
and
so the attention, he's never going to be able to live this down.
No.
I don't know about that. He very well could. He could put it, if he is able to craft reality for himself in the way that he does, it's very possible that he will walk. He has in this video.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. And there is no remorse. There is no fucking remorse.
Yeah.
Like he's smiling and laughing because it's just more footage for the internet, man. They're going to love this. So what is he going to tell the police?
And also,
because if they get him, because Chris is the kind of person that he's not going to ask for an attorney. He's not going to.
I'll represent myself.
Yeah, I'm represented by Magichan.
Yeah.
This is my lawyer, Magichan.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, they'll have to go for the insanity plea.
Good. Well,
they'll have to.
The insanity can only be used in criminal cases, right?
Yeah.
But
it's not insanity. That's
a cat. You're using a bit of a catch-all.
Yeah.
Because you can't just plead insanity.
Okay.
So you have stuff like temporary insanity. I was so
freaked
out. I didn't know what I was doing, but only for that. No, Chris would have diminished capacity because he's.
And what does diminished capacity mean?
He does not have the ability to reason and to tell fantasy from reality.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
More than likely, he's going to get additional charges for lying to the police, probably.
Possibly. I think the money's going to be the big problem.
Yeah, money's not going to be good.
No, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. But I mean, I don't know how they would charge him on that. I believe wouldn't his mother have to press charges on him for that?
I think so.
No. If it's a case of elder abuse, no victim has to bring charges. The police can just say, you abused an elderly person.
Oh, yeah, and you did all these things to and while you were abusing, yeah.
In the role of a caretaker.
You stole money.
Yeah.
But is he a caretaker? Because if he's a caretaker, wouldn't he have the ability to take that money?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that she was his caretaker.
Well, that's the gray area everybody's in now: is who's taking care for who.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean at this
So,
point.
so if she's still a legal caretaker, like she could get charged with incest.
Yeah.
She's either gonna get charged with incest, or she's gonna possibly unadmittedly convict her son for rape.
Yeah. Yeah, which one do you want? Which
one is it gonna be?
Yeah, which road do you want to go down, Barbara?
And they still throw old people in jail.
Oh yeah,
They still throw
They
old
have
people
no
in
problem
jail.
with it. They have no problem with that.
And the county has to have been on them for years. I know that they've
There's
gotten
a
wellness
file.
respect. There was a house fire years ago that allegedly Chris started. It's not that's just a rumor, but
Uh-huh.
you know their house is disgusting. There's the
Yeah.
other video we showed earlier today.
Yeah.
Chris posted a house tour, and the house was it was demolished. It was
absolutely-
disgusting.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
disgusting.
Oh, his dad coming
And
in
his
there
dad came in
saying,
and told him, "You need to get those pictures off,
or will be
or
condemned.
will be condemned." So he knows what he's dealing with. So shame on him for that.
Yeah.
You know, allegedly I'm gonna have company here at Hypercube this week, so I got to clean up.
Yeah. That's just what you do.
Is what you got to at least
Yeah.
try.
Yeah. Instead of putting it on the internet and telling everybody how great your house is. you know?
Yeah. This isn't a set decoration back here. That's just my fucking workbench. You know,
Yeah.
it's bad here. It's bad. So I got to run some stuff over to the warehouse soon. I'm still breaking down X-Day gear.
Yeah.
I can't find the $35 surge protectors I bought.
Oh, I got those.
You got those?
Yeah.
Man, I would really love one of those back.
Yeah.
Where
I
are we
got
at
you.
on time?
We are at 11:25.
11:25. So okay, so we ran into overtime tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've made as much conversation about it as we can. We we went over the history of it,
for
but
sure.
it's an interesting case, and I'm getting ready to get painted as a homophobe and a bigot again, and stuff like that. But so if I can close anything, I was saying earlier today, I don't hold contempt for people.
No.
I
no,
hold
not at all.
contentment for labels and containers and systems, religions, and I full-heartedly agree that there are people out there. There are people that were born biologically male that identify as female and vice versa. And those people are deserving of just as much respect as anybody else. And everybody deserves to be themselves, and but there's a line, and that's when you start reaching over to other people. And Chris has done that. He's done that. I didn't do that, and that's where I've got my beliefs based on coming up on that. But it's stuff that we've talked about before, and the problem that I see with primarily young people on the internet, which I was one. I still am one. We all say and do goofy things, but there is a movement out there that is going to be detrimental to the mental health of hundreds of thousands of people,
Exactly,
primarily
yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And they are enabling each other, and they are poisoning each other, and they are hurting each other. And a lot of them, they don't mean to do it. They don't mean to do it. They just don't know. And it is a new age of magical thinking where feelings are God. And if saying this is what makes you happy and doing this is what makes you happy, it's not just what it is. They feel like it's not just their God-given right to do it. It's I'm straying off.
Yeah.
I just want everybody
Yeah.
to know that where I stand on that. I try to be accepting of everybody, but I have definitely damned somebody today, and reamed them, and have chosen not to go with their preferred pronouns, and it is because I believe that they are a sick and twisted individual, and it happens to be that they are also autistic.
Yeah.
There are people out there like Chris who are not autistic. There are people out there doing the same exact thing, and they are exploiting minority communities and groups, and that is wrong. And they are using it for attention-seeking behavior. Not every cross-dressing femboy on my Twitter feed is guilty of that. Some of them, maybe, but the penis makes it cuter, so I'll admit that that's okay. Coming to you live here from Hypercube Labs. My name's Dr. Fox. I was joined tonight by Flux Rutenberg, Aster 6 over on the side. Pease was not able to join us for the show tonight here on the Discord.
Fucking Pease.
If you had fun on the show tonight, please hit subscribe, hit that like button, ring the bell, bookmark freethinkradio.com. And thank you for listening. You know, it's a different kind of show tonight, but yeah, I thought it was fun. It was interesting to talk about. And it's very possible that this can lead to other conversations and maybe even different styles of how we do the show. This is basically a big long chopping block episode tonight, which was fun. We haven't got to do in a while. Shouts to everybody on the Patreon. I don't have the list on me because I was going to get it at the break. See if I can remember. Please go to packslack.com, pick up a bar of Triology soaps. This episode was sponsored by Triology soaps, available exclusively at packslack.com. Everyone on the Patreon, let's see, that'd be Triology soaps, and Bob South, Brother Other, Michael Marcus, Caller 23, Apostasy X Nord, Scalpod, Reverend Loch Ness, Negative at Night, Reverend 80, Hazel of the Windmills, who does the music for the intros. Scalpod did some of the scrolling Dobbs head tiles for the loading screens. Said them. Reverend Dr. Sim for signing up. Thank you for your $1 donation on the first month. Congratulations. And everybody else, I apologize if I didn't remember your name on this one. I'll do extra shout outs next week. But thank you, everybody. By doing this show, I'm allowed. I love doing the show, and I appreciate everybody's support. And on the GoFundMe, we're just about halfway there. We had a $4,000 goal, and we're just under 2,000. So if you want to help out with the slack wagon, either getting my car repaired or trying to find a new and used vehicle, if you'd like to help me alleviate a bit of those dollars so I can keep working for Bob, those GoFundMe links are available on the Discord rooms. And I believe are on Facebook as well. Again, I'm not terribly worried about it. I never expected it to reach the goal, but that was how much money I spent on X Day. So anything I can get back to help me fix the ball joints on my car and stuff like that, I really appreciate. And everybody that's donated to that and the PayPal, I really, really, really appreciate. You guys mean a lot to me, and that's why I do this every week. Thanks to Martha Artha and Dr. Ellis, also sponsors on Free Think Radio. Again,